Everyone, hello fam, this is AWM.
Hey everybody.
Good to see you, folks.
Good morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are.
Absolutely. This is your opportunity to talk to us, our opportunity to interact with you. We help people move abroad and any other actual success things they're looking for in their lives. So we're going to make ourselves available to you and wait for people to come in the room. However, we'll give you a little bit of background about us. Of course, we are four from our family, are currently living on the continent of Africa, have been for 3+ years, right y'all?
Yes,
Yes.
we have.
Yes.
Yep. Going on 4 now.
And the question we always get asked is, are we enjoying it?
Yes, very much.
You're retired, right?
Yes. Oh,
You
that's
retired.
great.
That's right.
So that's good. You're on a tropical island, if you can believe. We're out here in Zanzibar currently. Who knows where we'll pop up next? And Daniel and I have been out here with them for the whole adventure as well. We were originally in Rwanda. Now we're out here in Zanzibar, Tanzania. And we're enjoying it, the good, the bad, and the ugly. We like to talk about that stuff here with you guys. We've helped others, inspire them to move abroad as well, get their mindsets together, get their tools together, especially with Dad's help. And we like to also get in and kind of talk about and interpret world events that help inspire people to make their next decision as well.
There's been a lot of things going on, and when I say that, it's coming off the heels of what Josiah said in terms of world events. I'm talking about, for example, if we think about what's shaking in the West, in America. So you have a change in the military. That kind of thing is happening. Drastic changes in the military. There have been a lot of talk in the news, the 24-hour news cycle about tariffs,
Yep.
Yes.
meaning those taxes that you apply to a product that is brought into your country.
Yes.
And then, of course, other countries have said they are going to have their own tariff then on products that we might make that go into their country. So there's the tariffs, there's the business with the neighbors to the north and the neighbors to the south.
Yes.
There is also the situation with Greenland, which is, well, it's a situation. And there are a whole lot more going on. I mean, if you can think of some, type them in the comments.
Right.
Also say hi to us. Let us know what city or state you are
watching
viewing, where you're watching from. Yeah, I know I didn't cover them all, so go ahead and type them in there, please. Why do I mention those things? Because there is an effort, there's handwriting on the wall. And I don't think everybody's reading that handwriting on the wall. And there's so much that's going on that it keeps people off balance. And when they're off balance, they're not able to decide and prioritize what is important for their families, for themselves as individuals, because they're off balance. So I'm a former federal employee. As Josiah said, I'm retired. Yes, greetings indeed.
Hey, Mr.
Hey,
Dion.
Dion.
Hey.
As a federal employee retired, so I spent about 7 years as a contractor and helping federal employees write resumes, get career advice on doing team building, things like that. And then I became a federal employee for about 21 years. So just shy of, or somewhere in the ballpark, or just shy of 30 years total federal experience. And one of the things that I did was I joined a Facebook group. There are multiple Facebook groups. You can check these out yourself. There's one that's called Fed Families, Fed Family Resources. That's for federal employees and contractors. And so on there, I get to see how one thing is affecting them, and that is the possibility of a reduction in force, or commonly called a RIF, or a layoff or something. And you're thinking, well, I'm not a federal employee. This doesn't really matter to me. Oh, I would say au contraire. Hold on a moment, because tariffs may not affect you in the next 2 weeks. But as I started looking in the Facebook group and I saw that my colleagues who are in the federal government are now being put in a position of tension where they don't know how they're going to pay their mortgage.
Right.
They don't know how they're going to pay their utilities.
School fees
School
for
fees
children.
for the children, yes.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah. Did you
Health
just say medical,
insurance.
health
Life
insurance,
insurance.
rent?
Right.
Because a lot of those things, come out of your check. If that's how you had things set up. And so you're trying to figure, when something just hits you like that, how you're gonna respond, what's your response, how are you gonna do that?
People getting overwhelmed.
Yes.
And I would say there's going to be a ripple effect in the economy when a major employer has layoffs, and that is separate of private industry, which has also been having layoffs and so forth.
Yeah.
And so what you want to do is kind of look at things in context and say, oh my goodness, no, actually, it does impact you. It's going to impact you when you realize that the services that you thought you might want to get are no longer available when you try to reach out and get those things. So let's say you did not work for the federal government, but you did receive Social Security or Medicaid and things
Yes.
like that, and they're shut down. Or like when we drove from Washington, D.C. to Los Angeles when we moved there, and we stopped at the Grand Canyon.
Right.
Oh, hallelujah. That was so
That was
fun,
No,
right?
was that?
Yes,
That
yes.
was wonderful.
And I know you came through Utah or went up the north route with Josiah.
Yeah.
We went up the south route.
Right.
When we got to the gates,
Oh, yeah.
Go ahead.
Everything was shut down.
Right.
I
was shut
forgot
down.
that.
Because of what was going on during that time,
yep,
a lot of things were shut down.
I forgot.
Everything
Go
was,
Go ahead.
everything was
Uh-huh.
shut down, so we were able to just
Walk
go
right on
in,
in.
go on in.
For free.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, we didn't pay nothing.
so, and that's nice to a point to go on for
It's like
free.
a
side
But when you
effect.
suddenly realize that a large contingency of the National Park Service is being
Effective.
fired,
Yeah.
released from their positions,
Yes.
you're no longer gonna have the upkeep of that park
Right,
that you
right.
once had.
Because we
Right.
heard about that in like Joshua Tree
Yes.
as well. They were like people were just coming in, tearing things up, not taking care of it as they were known to do in the past.
Right.
The upkeep, like you said.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But during that time, that government shutdown, that maybe Yellowstone might have had some issues too. People just weren't sweeping up and taking care like they were, and they couldn't manage it because of the layoffs.
Right, right.
So someone may say, well, I don't know about me going to any national parks, Mark, so move on. Well, there's the CDC.
Okay.
So Health and
Yeah.
Human Services,
Yeah.
Right.
they have experienced some serious layoffs. And so you have the CDC, which monitors things, and suddenly they are not able to complete their function.
Okay.
And so what's that got to do with anything? Well, if you have a situation where there's a measles outbreak, oh, there was one of those. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Center for Disease and Control, I'm sorry, CDC. So you don't have that monitoring that you had before. I think coal miners call it the parakeet in
Or
the cage.
canary.
The canary in the
coal
cage
mine.
in the coal mine.
Yep.
When the canary is no longer singing and kind of sleeping, it's not sleeping. It means to the coal miners, the oxygen is depleted.
Yes.
It's time to go.
Yeah.
And so if you think about like that, there are these dog whistles that are
Signals,
going off,
yeah.
signals. Yeah, the canaries chirp or no longer chirping
Yes.
in the cage in the coal mine is what's going on. I just mentioned CDC, HHS. So I was on Facebook and I looked at a building that I used to work at, the Mary Switzer building, which was across from Voice of America, down the street from the Department of Education. Actually, I took you
Yeah.
when you were young for take your son or daughter to work day there. And it's amazing to see the lines of people, the picture of the lines of employees who are trying to go to work, and they're all using their badge to try to gain entrance into the building. However, many of them are being let go, and they don't find out until they realize their badge does not open the door.
Right.
And then they got to take that walk past all the people that were in line for an hour or 2 hours with them of shame,
Yeah.
and they're done, and they suddenly realize they can't afford the they got to figure out, let me reframe that. They got to figure out how they're going to pay the mortgage, how they're going to pay the utilities, how they're going to feed, what else did you say, how they're going to take care of education.
Yeah,
College
health
tuition,
insurance, it's a
nursery
list-
schools.
Yeah, nursery, it's a
Yeah.
list of things, because something just, like I keep saying, happened, and you had no idea that was gonna happen.
Yeah, there's no warning sign, there's no communication that you would normally expect, the emails, you just, like Dad said, you're in line and at the kiosk, or like in line,
Right.
and it's just not working, so you gotta walk back.
So realize this is only one Facebook group of many that I belong to that I was telling you about, where I'm actually seeing the pictures, I'm seeing the people write, well, what should I do? Normally they were writing things like, okay, I have 2 jobs that I've applied for, and what kind of advice would you give me as I try to decide one over the other?
Right.
Or they might ask some
different now.
other kind of question. Now they're asking questions like, what do I do? I'm going to have my whole team, pause for effect, my whole team has been riffed,
Right.
reduction in force, fire. And I'm wondering, should I go ahead and quit now? Should I wait for the drip DRP that they're offering? Some people took the fork in the road, which was you can decide to quit now and get a boatload of money, or you can keep working and hope you don't get fired later.
Right.
So those are the kinds of questions, and people are filming themselves.
Oh,
Some people are just typing in their concerns. I tell you, it's a very tenuous time right now of what's going on as the dominoes are leaning against each other is what's happening.
Yeah.
So I told you about the lines around the building, and that was the Mary Switzer building, and over at the HHS building and a few other buildings in other states. That was Washington, D.C. I
Right.
was talking about. And also turned on just 2 weeks ago, some YouTube interviews, and you get to see, well, this is NBC, ABC, people who were interviewed at positions who found out, maybe via an email, they lost their jobs. So there's going to be a ripple effect. Don't think that it won't touch you, even if you're not a federal or former federal employee.
Was there anything that like jumped out in that the interviews you saw, like a response? Got
Yeah.
you thinking maybe?
Yeah, I think it's when I turned to your mother and we were talking about the health insurance, because it occurred to me that that is a high cost in where we're from in the States. And
Yes.
whereas tariffs may not hit you, maybe you weren't intending to buy a new car, or you can put that thought off,
Yeah.
but you may have a condition.
Yes, because some people say if you're on dialysis, or say you just started chemo, or a lot of these things that your insurance does cover, and you're kind of regularly going, for these procedures or checkups, or you might have a certain heart thing getting ready to come up, an emergency surgery or something, and you're like, I don't know how I'm going to pay for that, because maybe your insurance did cover all of that. So it's like things that you may not even thinking about. Now you got to think about, oh man, how am I going to deal with that? So now
Yes.
you really got to really sit down and really take stock and say, okay, what can I do?
Yeah, that's critical, because that's the whole reason you have the health insurance, in case of an emergency. And so now that health is impacted, and you gotta be on your P's and Q's to know, how am I gonna take care of this in case of an emergency, which could happen at any point.
So those are real life things that are happening. For example, then there is survivor mentality. That's not the right word for it. What it is a person is trying to figure out what to do. In this case, they survived not being laid off or
Right.
something like that.
Mhm.
And it struck me that I'm seeing this question pop up, and that is, people are asking, is it wrong that they want to be
Oh, okay.
reduced in force, rift,
Mm.
fired, laid off?
Wow.
Because one lady said, I can't take the strain of constantly waiting on the axe to fall.
So it's the
Oh, okay.
unknown hanging over them.
And so what they are thinking is, maybe I'll just go ahead and take control of my own
Right,
destiny,
right, right.
and I'll just leave now. And there are pros and cons to doing that. And I'm not going to go into them because that's just not. But the point is, people are having that kind of thought. I will say this much though, I wrote to the person that I respect them for considering that, because just because you don't like an option doesn't mean it is not an option.
Right.
Yeah.
Y'all have told us that all our lives. It's a hard pill to swallow, because it's like, it sounds like those survivor movies where it's like, the case of money's right there, but you're trapped under something. Do you cut something off, or
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You do, yeah.
Yeah.
what do you do?
Because at least you would get to have some kind of influence over your own destiny.
Exactly.
Go out and look for a job, or as one person said, they could stay home and take care of their young children, and hope that they could do work in maybe private industry a few years down the line.
Right.
So, but the point is, just because something's not palatable to you, not favorable to you, doesn't mean it's not a choice.
Right.
That's true.
So there you have that. And so I think you had said this, Josiah, or somebody did, ways to see a way out. That's what they're doing.
Yeah.
Some people are starting to realize, although the situation is pretty tenuous,
Yes,
there is a way out.
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Because I guess we've been hearing some people say, well, now maybe I could do whatever this thing is I wanted to do. Maybe somebody
Yeah.
wanted to work in a different environment, a whole different area. They're, even though they were working in the government now, maybe they would do private insurance, they would do something else, or start their own thing that they've been talking about they wanted to do
Yeah.
for years, and now they're saying, maybe this is kind of pushing me or kickstarting me to kind of say, okay, can I do that? Let me see if I can do that. Now I can take the time to really invest in trying to do something different of what I've always wanted to do, but now I can do it.
Yeah. Are you finally gonna write that book now that you've been putting off for 12 years or something? Like,
Or get
Right.
healthy, or something like we've
Yeah.
been swimming a lot. Are there other ways and remedies to attack things like your health for the better, are options opening up for your quality of life, even though government shaking is kind of got you unbalanced at the moment? There might be other things you can do.
That's a great term, unbalanced, because it really requires a mind shift. And I hope that anyone listening in will do the necessary steps, although they might be what you call unconventional opportunities, but it is still an opportunity, like moving abroad, for example, an unconventional step. Y'all listed other steps, but there's that possibility, but you have to position yourself to be able to take that step.
yes.
And it includes having the realization that there is this handwriting on the wall and what's going on all around you. And
Not be distracted.
and like step back for a moment and realize that in the 24-hour news cycle, there's all these things being bombarded on you, but really it's a clue to you that maybe we never did return to normal, as you would say,
After
Marlene.
COVID.
After that.
Shutdowns.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Because
they-
everyone kept saying, we'll go back to normal. Go ahead. Dan.
This is the new normal.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, do y'all think so? You think people aren't adjusting? We're not above anyone, just observation. Do you think people aren't in step with that yet? Are they in denial? It's been what, 4
Yeah,
years since that
I
happened?
think
Yeah.
I think so. I think
Yeah.
folks are in denial.
Because that time went by, it's like a classic joke of, oh, I think back to like 2020, 21, 2022,
Mhm, mhm.
2022, and it's like a flash. It happened so fast. And then, we have the current administration, and
Mhm.
people they might feel a certain kind of way about it.
Mhm.
And like, all of that piles up, it can feel like denial about seeing the writing on the wall.
Because it sounds like that, what the Dark Knight, Commissioner Gordon asked, well, what about escalation, Batman? You wear more armor, they get armor-piercing rounds. Or
Yeah.
like just things,
Oh, I see.
it seems in the past
Yeah.
4 or 5 years, different things
Escalations
keep
are,
escalating.
yeah.
Yes.
Mhm.
So some people are maybe distracted maybe by a lot of the, what do we have? The Grammys, Super Bowl,
Yeah, the
Yeah.
Grammys just yeah.
celebrity, gossip,
March Madness is
March
taking
Madness,
place now.
Yeah.
new shows, you know, Netflix this and that, and it's just, I didn't read it. Did y'all read was it Brave New World? I think that was the sci-fi book in the 80s or so, where it was just all entertainment while the rest of the world fell apart. And it feels like in different ways the past 4 years in particular, that's what's been happening. Not that there's anything wrong with entertainment, but at the same time, like the title said, is there any way out of this mess? Well, do we know that we're in a mess?
Yeah, have you positioned yourself to receive that kind of information or consider that information? Like, is it a mess?
And when you say entertainment, it enters you and it taints you.
Right.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Put you to sleep.
Yeah, it puts you to sleep. And so,
Deception.
and when you listed distractions, that was the word I needed earlier when I was talking
Okay.
about tariffs,
Oh, okay.
pursuing Greenland, because
Yeah.
they're distractions also.
Sure. Oh, sure. I
Yeah,
can see it that
all of
way
those
as
things
well.
are distractions. We recently saw Gladiator 2.
Yeah.
Gladiator 2.
Brand
one of the
circuses.
yes, the circuses. Those are going on.
Yeah, tell them. Go ahead.
And you want to, well, y'all gonna have to help me with that, but
Okay.
basically the deal is there is this urge to entertain the people with the circuses
Yeah.
and the Colosseum, so
Meanwhile,
that
Rome is falling.
yeah,
Yeah.
while Rome is
Political
falling.
unrest. People can't eat. They can't go to the doctor.
Yeah.
They can't protect their children. On and on. But then you get the adrenaline going. Get them to be betting on one strong man versus the
Right,
next, and
right.
they
Right.
forget their problems. Not that it's not inherently bad, but you saw how the movie went. And can America get out of this mess? Can the world get out of these messes?
Well, you have options, and it may not have been some that you consider, but if you've been following us for multiple years now,
Right?
one of those options is that you can move abroad.
Right.
And we help people to be able to move abroad because we have been able to successfully do it, and we provide assistance, guidance, resources to be able to do that. So what do we got coming up, folks?
Yeah, May 18th, Sunday, May 18th is our 6th workshop, the Move Abroad in 3 Easy Steps. We just focus on mindset, picking a country, budgeting in America, and then budgeting for your destination, and then the tools that helped us and the tools that we've created. So May 18th, you get us for the weekend, and we take you through those. I listed more than 3. I just kind of open them up. But we get into mindset, picking a country, money, and tools. You get us to talk to you about those things, and we go through all of the things that really worked for us. Like some of the things were, Dad, you designed the readiness wheel. Why do people need to know they're ready?
Well, because folks were not really doing the basics, which is before you maybe purchase a house, you take an assessment to find out how is the furnace,
Yep.
how is the HVAC system,
Right.
how is the fireplace, how is the roof,
foundation.
I was gonna say
how
the
is the
foundation.
foundation. And so it's an assessment. And so the readiness assessment or readiness wheel helps you to just take a snapshot of yourself, of things that, that you may not have thought of, so you can rate to see where you are. You may find out you're not ready on that particular line item,
Right.
but that's good to know.
Yeah.
Because
Yes.
if you didn't take time to think about it, you may not have realized, oops, I forgot about that one. So
Right.
that's what the readiness wheel is about.
Because we don't want people, we've just been seeing some videos, in particular, people going back to America after they moved someplace
Yes.
abroad. because of certain mindset things, financial, otherwise things that we talk about. We don't want you to do that because, like you said, Dad, it's going on 4 years. Blessedly, we've been able to live abroad as a family, and we don't want people to go back with their tail in between their legs.
That's why the country rating is a good thing. It's like, some people might know already, I know exactly where I want to go, but some people are not sure. They might have about 3 or 4 places.
Yep.
So the country rating helps you to have a list of different areas you're looking for. It could be the climate, it could be, you know, the culture, it could be terrain, it could be whatever things that you like, that you want. And you get to go to checking these countries out and to see, okay, this particular country, does Costa Rica have what I want? Does Ghana have what I want? Does Panama, you know, and it helps you to rate those things to say, okay, in this area, that sounds good for Costa Rica, but over in here, oh, that sounds better in Panama. So it helps you to kind of know what you're looking for, and you can rate it according to the countries. And once you kind of go through that list and you kind of narrow everything down, then you can say, oh, I think we're kind of looking towards this particular country, and that kind of helps you. But you want to do that ahead of time, so that if you do move somewhere, at least you have more of a percentage of what you want instead of less of what you want.
Yeah, we also have options for your budgeting, for your money. Like, will you be able to go to specific countries if you budgeted your money a certain way? So that way you know to put money aside here, there, and in different places to support you in your move and beyond the move. Really, we have sections for like what is it called, like the bucket system, something like that, where you can put it in each category. Like, and it prioritizes like fun. Like, you might hear budgeting and only think, oh, I got to put it towards this bill, I got to put it towards that bill. Well, yes, but we're also focusing on something that matters to you, like fun.
Right.
And that's like some examples.
So what you're hearing is an organized approach so that you can plug yourself into the system versus asking us, do you like it there? And we will follow you. No. You go through how to design the world that you're interested in. So before you do a scouting trip, if you're able to do one, you're scouting your top 3 or whatever cities versus having a list of 15 cities and you didn't know anything about how to prioritize those to get your top 3. Mindset pyramid starts with your identity, looks at what is your mindset, and then we get to process. The challenge is everybody wants to start asking us about visas and process stuff. You're not ready for that, to be quite honest with you. Do we show you how to do it? Heck, yes. Josiah takes you through these exercises and stuff and what to do. But it's not going to work if you don't know a core thing that it took me many years to learn in business, and that is culture eats your strategy for breakfast.
Yes, it does.
So you've got to understand your mindset, and that enables you to be successful really at anything. So that, because change is constant, so you've got to be ready. So we help you with regard to identity. What is your travel type, for example? With your mindset, dealing with culture, and then we get into the process of packing and how much your luggage weighs. What about the ebooks?
So one of our ebooks is our Expat Stories book, where you'll get experiences from people beyond us who we've met here where we live and in other countries, talking about what mattered to them most, what were they impacted by, what they wish they had bought, what they wish they had focused on, things like that. Multiple stories.
Some people were like, oh, I wish I hadn't brought coats to the hottest places in Africa because they hadn't researched. You know, they can laugh now, but they told us that. Other people wish that they hadn't invested in the big moving crates because they really could have used that money for their budget. Like a lot of these things, like you say, Dad, is not a mistake. It's a lesson. And so a lot of people that you'll get in this book, and we've talked about it in other videos too, but you'll get it in the book, inside of the course, inside of the workshop, May 18th, is that people will give their pain points. We, not just us, we give plenty of our pain points. There are some places in the world we've learned money doesn't motivate people. I know the spy movies make it seem like, oh, if I slide you a little bit of this, you know, sometimes you might go someplace and you didn't know the culture that well, and a quality of your life might falter or lag because you didn't know that ahead of time. So we try to share those pain points to equip you.
Absolutely. What's so interesting, and also if you have questions, go ahead and type them up now, please. Type your questions now. One thing that occurred to me is that if we would have had a course like this before we left LAX, we would have saved more than enough for the cost of this course.
Yeah.
And here's the reason why. There was something
You about to tell that story.
I realize. You may have to help me with it. But bottom line is basically a simple tool that's in the neighborhood of, let's say, $10 or something like that.
Yes.
Would have helped us not to have to purchase in the airport a piece of luggage, suitcase.
Yeah, brand new suitcase.
And
$500.
Yes.
$500.
And we didn't need it.
That's what I meant when I said if we'd have had this course, this kind of thing to go through, it would have saved that much money, which more than pays for the course. And that's just one example that I have right now that is a hard cost, because we also take you through cost analysis in the workshop bundle, but I won't get into that right now.
Yeah, no, but we show you, we will show you tools that have helped us, so as that you can look at your own budget right now. Daniel was talking about budgetary ideas earlier. And then there are tools that exist that we share with you where you can look at, what might my budget be in Dar es Salaam, Tanzania, or something like that. For my groceries, amenities, etc. Whoa, I pay those in Los Angeles at this price, but in Dar es Salaam, it would be this price. Mind you, these tools work to help you understand that things fluctuate. So you just check them daily or whatever. Some of them are as simple as just being downloaded to your phone or something like that. So those are some things we take you through.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I was gonna say there's another area of knowing when to start doing things. A year out, 6 months out, 3 months out. I'm thinking of some of the things where, when we were moving, we decided within a period of time, hopefully you guys, you'll know when you're gonna do it, and this is gonna help you to know when to do it and to when to start, ticking down time to do things. Because when I was trying to decide what clothing or certain items I was gonna bring, I wish I had given myself more time ahead to make that decision. It's hard making a decision when you gotta make it right on the spot. So if you know, okay, a year out, I need to do this, or this, or 6 months, that's in there to help you to know, okay, if I'm leaving at this time, I don't wanna sell my car too soon if you have a car, or if I gotta stop utilities, or if I gotta get luggage or whatever. It'll help you to know when to do these things at the certain times as to when you feel you're gonna be leaving.
Because those things can creep up. Like the whole theme of the video was, I guess, just things overwhelm you.
Yes.
Same thing will happen. It happened to us with, the airlines. Your airline is changing. Different rules are changing. Things with the menu. Things with our visa for Rwanda at the time. And just trying to make sure things got to Washington, D.C. right. Everything kind of happens all at once. So we used our experience and those of others to create a tool to help you schedule out, essentially. The whole thing is about organization. And so your first entry into that is May 18th, spending a couple hours with us on Zoom to begin to open up this door for you. Yeah. So, thank you, Miss Dion P, for that kind words. She was telling us always remember to shine.
Thank you.
Thank you.
She's been with us for a while.
I would like to say this to you, to the folks. And again, we'll take your questions, whatever you might want to ask. And that is that if you are new to our channel and want to know more about us, go visit our website and take a look around. Go to the About section. I find that people ask us questions in the comments of the YouTube when the answer might actually be down in the comments. When I go watch, okay folks, I'm gonna be honest with you, I like watching Pop It or
the balloon.
Love.
Pop the balloon.
Pop the balloon.
Yeah.
Or,
Is that it?
Pop It or Love.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. And anyway,
New viral hit.
if people will say things in the comments and they don't realize it was answered in the comment above. You can learn so much in reading comments. It's unbelievable. You can also learn so much when you go to the YouTuber or influencer's description. You can learn so much when you click on their about. You can find out, see a little bio on all of us. You can see some of the places we've been to. You can also see, you can also find out what kind of tools we have available. You can see, that there is a members only
Yep. Linked in description.
YouTube channel that we have where we actually are more transparent and open about maybe what we paid for our house, maybe how we got our house, maybe what we lived in Rwanda.
Residency updates we go into more details
Yes.
there, but like I'm a resident now. My parents are residents. Daniel's working on that for later. But like we get into those processes even down to going to the offices, right, Dad? In certain
Yeah.
situations.
Tours.
So it's really good for those of you new or returning. That's one thing that you can also do as well. We want you to take any of our offers at the time that you feel. You don't need to be leaving the United States or even considering it for 2025 if you don't want to. But that doesn't mean that the Move Abroad workshop May 18th can't give you a leg up early.
Yes.
Doesn't mean members
Yes.
only videos can't give you a leg up early. Doesn't mean the newsletter can't give you a leg up early, or any of our weekly videos, because what is it? People perish for lack of knowledge.
Yeah.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
Dad and Mom have always tried to have us and our brothers back in the States, like try to like be present, but how can you consider the future as well?
Yes.
And so sometimes these videos or our offerings can be like a gold nugget that'll serve you later. Keep it in your back pocket type of thing. So it's okay if you're not leaving in the next 2 years, if that's what you wanted to do, but you can have this workshop May 18th in your back pocket and refer to it and the course when you're ready. You know what I'm saying? So
There's a lot of things that you can really avail yourself to. We have a lot of offers that are available. You mentioned the newsletter, the complimentary newsletter,
Yep.
where people can keep track of
we
us.
share
Oh,
stories
yeah.
in there as well to get you kind of like the videos and things like that. So it's members only is like a step up, but the free newsletter is available.
There's, let's see, and we were talking about the members only, which is monthly, so you can enter it and exit it anytime that you want, okay?
Yep. We do exclusive like videos, posts. Live. This is a public live. We do private lives as well. You know,
Is this what you?
we also doing some. We got a word for you right here. We had to look up some.
Yes, that is a 28.
But this is also an option for you. Again, if you're new, we've been living abroad for almost 4 years, and moving abroad is an option that you can take if you want to. Go ahead, Dan.
All right, so here's a little something, since we're not getting questions. And it's out of Genesis chapter 1, and I'm going to start reading somewhere in the high 20s, like 27, 28, something like that. First of all, we are grateful to the Most High for everything that He has blessed our family with, those that are still in the States, and us that are here overseas, and all the travels that we have done, how He got us out of debt, how He blessed us with houses with an ES on the end, and things like that. We are so grateful to Him. But we know we're not special. We just are learning that there are biblical principles, things that He established, and when we do them, it's like the results are pretty much guaranteed. They just are. It's like, but if you don't do nothing, won't be nothing.
Sure.
And that's been quite an eye-opening thing for me. I've just learned some of these things in the last 3 years, to be quite honest with you. So this is out of, as I said, Genesis chapter 1, and let's see here, verse 28. And I think this is out of the Cepher, C-E-P-H-E-R, right?
Yeah.
And Elohim blessed them. This is about Him blessing Adam and Eve, okay? And Elohim blessed them, and Elohim said unto them, here we go. Everybody knows this. Everybody knows this frontwards and backwards. Be fruitful, multiply, replenish the earth and subdue it, and have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the fowl of the air, and over every living thing that moves upon the earth. That's it. One verse. Be, do, and you will have. Be blessed. Be fruitful. Fruitful does not just mean me and Marlene got married and had children. No, it means you are a chip off the old block, and he is referred to as the creator, which means you're made in his image, so you're a creator. So you create things. I ran into the couple at the food court just a few hours earlier before my nap. And they were the couple that on your, when we were celebrating you, and we were at the box in Stonetown.
Okay.
And you took video, I think, of them. They were doing the beads and the painting and stuff like that. So they're creative. He's in the arts, she's in the wellness and stuff like that. And they're creating, and I'm gonna get more info on them so we could like talk about what they got. Maybe we could interview them, or I'll interview them or something. But anyway, what I'm saying is be creative. Do something that blesses other people. What if I said it like that? You could make, a YouTube channel and call it Pop It. And I get to see couples who, we've been blessed to be married, 38 years, 38 years. And we hope so many folks, you met some of them where I worked in the government, young ladies want to be married.
Yeah.
Well, these people came up with something. It's not evil. It's there, and they created it. And now Netflix is picking it up. What a concept.
Next week.
Be fruitful, meaning be creative. Produce a book. You said that earlier.
Yep.
Yeah.
Produce a piece of furniture. Come up with Microsoft, something, I don't know, create an app. When you be this fruitful person, and then multiply it, right? In other words, make it scalable. They say that word a lot in business. In other words, simplify it. Like a McDonald's hamburger we had in Tokyo kind of tastes like a McDonald's hamburger in Hawaii and when we were in Maui and stuff. And it also tastes like one in Puerto Rico or London. In other words, once you get it down to its lowest common denominator, like a manufacturing, Henry Ford, you could have a Model T in any color you want as long as it's black. Okay.
It was focused.
So you multiply it, replenish. Then you come up with a distribution system.
Get it out there.
That's replenish, right? Distribution center for us
Replicate.
is the YouTube platform.
Yeah.
You got what? Name some more platforms.
MailChimp.
Facebook,
Facebook,
Instagram.
TikTok,
Patreon.
X.
Yeah.
There's
a lot already.
There's all kinds of distribution platforms. Those were just social media ones.
Yeah.
Distribution could be that, I don't know, you go to county fairs and like our daughter-in-law does, and she was selling her baked goods and her crafts and arts and stuff like that. It could be you go to we have a friend who works with special needs children, two friends who do that, Kiana and Danielle, and you go to the centers where the people are and you instruct on how they have a gifting from the Most High to really help special needs, those on the spectrum, autism, to become functional in society. And so that's taken off. But go ahead.
Didn't she do produce something for them to use for their children? Was it not a booklet?
Yes,
but
adaptivities to, yes. She put
Products,
together
yeah.
a book, so that she's replicating, making it scalable, and people can still have forward progress, even if they're in Zimbabwe or if they're in Honolulu or wherever. Yes, she did, yeah. So that one was replenished, which really means a distribution center. And then you have subdue it, meaning keep growing, keep growing, keep growing. You ever wonder why the Most High keeps giving you ideas, or You have an idea, like I mess around on musical instruments. You want to get better. I want to go to the next song and the next song. I'm no longer doing, what is that on the keyboard? Chopsticks.
The little things where you hit the,
You want more. There's a
Yeah.
reason why he made you that way. Because he wants his kingdom expanding and growing. So believe it or not, I just went through be fruitful, multiply, replenish, and subdue. And when you do those things, you will have dominion in your area of genius. Everybody's a genius if you stay in your lane. There are areas where these gentlemen here have helped she and I to understand things, to move our family forward, to help us to move forward in AWM, in our personal IT in Apple. One son said, they said to me, Dad, you need to move from an Android to an Apple. And they were trying to convince me to spend $1,200 for this thing. Yeah, we have done things. My phone has paid for itself 10 plus times over. And I didn't get it at the time. And I'm saying you got to have a mind shift so that you can get it. And you will then have dominion, meaning you finally get to have the thing that you were aspiring to, whether it's to move abroad, whether it's success in a particular area, if you want to author a book or whatever, you will have it. Those are the steps there. What I'm saying to you is we are acknowledging that the Most High is giving us, as it says in Proverbs, knowledge of witty inventions. We share these things with you, these principles, and you're able to activate them in your life so that you can do the do part. It was be, do, then you get to have.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed. So, I mean, somebody say something about that part, please. Somebody type something in the comments about that part. Because what I just said to you, it will help you if you learn how to swim, like these guys are knocking that out. If you're trying to learn how to skydive, I used to have a friend I worked with in Peoria, Illinois. You met Linda. She was a skydiver, and then she got her pilot's license, which was ahead of me because I took aeronautics in high school and didn't get my license, my pilot's license. But anyway, so tell us what's going on. At least tell us what city you are from or state. That's all, where you're watching us from.
And this is also good because, again, I think I was saying it earlier, you do have the option. Well, we were saying you have more options than you realize.
Yeah.
And one way that mom and dad taught us was to be grateful or to be thankful, to be like, oh, my parents are still alive. My mom just turned 70, if you can believe it. Notes taken from Georgia. Hey, Miss Dion. Awesome.
Wait a minute, we gotta slow down because you're saying a whole lot when you were talking about being thankful for things. And and Dion writing from Georgia. I didn't know that. Yes, because my family's from Georgia, Dion. And I don't mean Atlanta, Dunwoody, Marietta, although they live in those places now. The big city was Rome, Georgia, but anyway. You said some big things about being thankful.
Like for even the little things, because there's that Dr. Joe guy y'all introduced us to, who is from the school of thought that the more negative stuff you focus on, you condition the innards of your body, you condition the chemicals in your mind to crave that. It's like when you have a crack baby or something, it's like the poor infant comes out of the womb craving that stuff in its system. But if you had healthy food that your doctor prescribed, your mother, whoever, then the baby naturally comes out that way. This is not about pregnancy. It's about how we gotta learn to become a new person. Basically, that's in the scripture, isn't it? Yeah. You're a new creation.
Yes.
And so all this stuff, can we get out of the mess of America? Whatever that means to you. For us, the answer was to get out of America.
Yes.
And if you want to change some things, we have to start learning how to learn. And one way to start seems to be, I'm doing it myself, learn to be grateful, not compare myself or focus on, oh, Trump did this, oh, Trump did that.
Mhm.
Back when Trump first got elected, 4 or 8 years ago, whatever it was,
Mhm.
I mute all the people on my social media who wouldn't stop talking about him. A lot of things they were saying that they were angry about,
Mhm.
I was angry about them too.
Mhm.
But it was always in my face. So I muted them to help protect my mind
Gotcha.
so I could think about the endeavors that I had going on.
Mhm.
What you got, Dan?
I just want to co-sign on what you were saying with some receipts. Psalm 100 verses 4 through 5. What this man said was to be thankful and to be thankful for little things. And it affected my life when I had gone from the #1 agency in the United States government, okay, the #1 agency in the US government.
Who was that?
NASA. And I had changed agencies. And I had trouble because I didn't have the mind set. I hadn't thought about that to understand the culture I was in. So I needed to go through something. And one thing that helped me was to sit down at my desk before I started my day.
Oh, yeah.
And I would write down, I'm thankful I made it in on the metro safely. I'm thankful I was able to walk up the escalator even though the escalator power went off, because it's a long one at where I was working. I'm thankful that I have an air-conditioned environment to work in.
Yep.
I'm thankful because I've seen senior executives, as I was telling you earlier, who were put in a closet when I was at DOJ. Literally, they had gotten their hand slapped for some reason.
Disciplinary action.
SES, Senior Executive Service. And so their office, their desk, their computer was in a closet space. So I was thankful that I had a nice desk in an open area, even though I wasn't SES. And so I started being thankful every day. Psalm 100 verses 4 through 5. Enter into his gates with thanksgiving and into his courts with praise. Be thankful unto him. These kinds of things shift your life when you take them like life and death seriously.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because my blood pressure was up and stuff like that, and it helped bring things down. And this is what Josiah, this is what he was talking about. When I say receipts, what I mean is, where is this codified? When I worked for the federal government, it was important that if you came to me with a training form, an SF-182, and you said you were going to do X and do this and that, I had to not just make up an answer. I had to go to what's called the CFR, Code of Federal Regulations. The Bible is the code of life regulations. And I'm finally, after all these years, starting to grasp that. And that's how we're seeing our life take off, folks.
And that's why we made the Move Abroad in 3 Easy Steps workshop. That's why we made the Your Epic Move Abroad e-course. That's why we launched the members only channel. That's why we write the Awaken letter and put out these videos, because if you're not careful, you get focused on the negative. I love it. Shout out to everybody who's watching this live, who lives abroad and has chimed in, or who see the replay, because we've had people who really bless my socks off when they'd say, oh yeah, I've lived in the Philippines for X amount of years and my life has changed. Oh, I moved to Japan. Oh, I moved to Vietnam or Mexico, or I've been living in South Africa. I think someone from South Africa was watching joined us a few minutes ago. Because if you focus too much, so let's talk to those who you want to move abroad. Again, that's a lot of what we mainly do talk about here. So is that we're just another bright corner to show you it's possible. They're helping me all the time, because I oftentimes in the past have focused too much on the negative. Oh, it's too expensive. Oh, black folk don't thrive abroad somewhere. Oh, continental Africans don't like us, and so on and so on. The more I focused on those things, and I've already moved abroad, the more my spirit goes down. It's almost like I'm not where I'm at. It's like I'm somewhere else, and that somewhere else is the negative zone, or people who, some of which haven't moved abroad, some of which haven't left their own hometown. No shade. Is just an observable fact for some people.
Yeah.
If you focus too much on what Trump is doing that you don't like, if you focus on the lie that we can't move abroad. I don't know a lot about her, but I think that Grammy winning singer Kellis, I think she's been she's black. I think she's been traveling all of Africa for over a year now. She's got like a viral Instagram. She had a successful music career. She's an entrepreneur working in, I think, wellness,
Oh, wow.
oils, creams that are healthy for our skin, keep that melanin glowing. And she shows people Rwanda, South Africa, Tanzania, the Great Migration. I think Stevie Wonder just got a dual citizenship in Ghana.
Yeah,
Yes.
And about 500 other American citizens, many of which were Black American, I guess last November or something,
Yeah,
got
yeah.
dual citizenship
Ghana.
in Ghana and things.
Yeah.
I'm saying all that to say, I've been focusing on that stuff more, and I hope that you guys will do that. That's what you see when you read our emails, when you watch our videos, when you hang out with us on Zoom. Shout out to all of you who are watching who have learned from us in Zoom all of last year as we go into 2025. I know the processes are important, like, where are the least corrupt countries? What are the easiest visa schemes to find? We talk about all that stuff on our platform and in our classes, absolutely. But please don't look down on mental stuff, because what was the video all about? Can we get out of this mess? Because a mess is overwhelmed. When you have a mess of laundry, when you have the mess hall and things like that, when you're under all types of overwhelm, you can't see the light. And that's what, I guess, that Coliseum you're talking about, Gladiator 2, you have all these opponents in the form of inflation. Y'all paying for $30 eggs or something last I checked. The measles outbreak you were talking about, Dad. I think there are a lot of fires in the West, blizzards.
And the East.
Earthquakes.
In the East.
different
Yeah.
things.
A tornado went through, I think, Ohio.
Yes.
I think
And Illinois.
in Illinois recently. Again, these are all bad things, but we want to be a light to encourage you guys.
When he was talking, one of the things I had a visual of is, I believe, a donkey. There's a story of when a donkey fell into this pit, and so the owner said, "Oh man," they tried to get it out, but it's like, we're gonna have to just give up and let the thing die. And so the donkey was like, "Oh no, they're gonna shoot me," or something like that. And so the donkey started like using its front paws and kicking at the wall. And so when the dirt came down on the wall, the donkey would stand on top of the dirt. And then the donkey would knock some more dirt down on the wall and stand on top. And next thing you know, the donkey had made lemonade out of lemons, or made a ladder step out of all the dirt it had stomped on, that rose it up, and it jumped out of the pit and went on its way.
Wow.
Ooh. That's what I saw when you were giving your story.
So it's like you're using everything that was meant to bury you
Right.
as your elevation
Get you out.
Yes.
about the pit.
Get you out.
Elevate. Yes, indeed.
Wow.
Yes. There are options. They may feel challenging. It may be something challenging to think about moving abroad, but more and more people are successfully doing it. You continue to grow. Growth occurs when you are in uncomfortable states,
Yeah.
quite frankly. That's when growth begins. Your skin is the biggest organ on your body. If you don't believe that, check your Google your medical stuff. And your skin is replacing itself, but it's a violent thing that's taking place. Cells are being, drying up, falling off, and being
Right.
pushed out of there. But it's growth. That's what's happening. When you learn something new, you generate a new synapse connection in your gray matter, and you get another crevice or something like that. But anyway, what's happening is you are growing, and it's a grand opportunity. So if you could look at what's going on around you, which could be described as distractions, and use them as leverage to help propel you forward, probably be doing what you always wanted to be doing, where you wanted to be doing it with, and who you wanted to be doing it with.
Yeah, surround yourself with those type of people that are like-minded, that are transforming,
Yes.
that are going through that growth. A lot of the wealthy, all of which aren't evil, by the way, that's another distraction. They want us to think that having a lot of money is bad or something, but I've noticed no one thinks anyone who's got a lot of health is evil. No one who's got a
That was good.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to write that down.
You
That
know-
was good. I like
You
that.
know, it's what you do with your health. It's what you do with your money. It's what you do with your education. These are those human things that they try to beat it out of you and get you focused on, oh, what did he do? Oh, what's Elon doing? Oh, what's so-and-so? Oh, but what about the loved ones that helped get you up this morning, that you were thankful for, that have always had your back? You can make new friends. In our old courses, people have made friends who have moved to Dar es Salaam. You know, it's about 2 hours away from us. There are people who have connected to move to other countries and things like that, who are kind of reaching back to pull people forward. You can switch all types of things up.
Oh, go over to our website, AwakenWithMark.com. Go to testimonials to hear the people themselves saying what Josiah is saying.
Right.
You're going to hear more than 5 people
Yes.
who are going to tell you what kind of things that they've learned and how they've been able to move forward.
Right,
So, I guess that's it. Did y'all have anything else?
No, I think y'all hit a lot of great
areas.
points. I guess like Josiah was mentioning things about the money. What did Dad say? The code of ethics, even the Bible talks about that in ways that we wouldn't think about, where it encourages you to sell the corn and you'll be blessed. Or what is it?
Yes.
The Most High, what is it? He maketh rich
And he added
No
no
sorrow.
sorrow
No sorrow.
with it.
Yeah.
No sorrow with it.
with it. So yeah, it teaches us those things, not to love the money, but to, use it in specific ways. So yeah.
Thank you to those of you who gave us a thumbs up. We really appreciate that.
Thank you.
If you did not give us a thumbs up, we ask that you consider doing that, if you would like this video.
Yeah,
Thank you for those of you who clicked on, chimed in, whatever.
Yep.
Thank you for those who are interacting with us, talking to us. It's kind of fun. Believe it or not, when you do that, because we've been blessed to live in different places, it's just kind of fun to say, oh, we've been there, or we got
Right,
relatives there,
right.
or I owe somebody money over there. No, I'm just joking. But it's like, that's really all we're doing.
Yeah,
When I see where somebody's from, like when you say you're from the Midwest, that's where I'm originally from, actually. And yes, I really did live in Peoria, Illinois. So that's kind of neither here nor there, I know. What going once? I mean, y'all got any questions for us? Can we?
I know it is early, especially on the East Coast.
Have y'all had
Respect.
y'all's coffee yet?
Y'all have breakfast or
Because as the
anything?
sun's going, it's
I think we have
cool here.
I think an hour and a half, 2 hours of sunlight left for us. It's 5 p.m. for us right now. So some of y'all might be waking up. Maybe that's what
About
I've
10
heard.
o'clock if you're in the East Coast.
If you're on the East
Yeah.
Coast, and I guess what?
Oh, much
Earlier if you're in
Yeah.
LA.
LA is
Yeah.
like 7.
So
Yeah.
so
Where
respect.
you are.
So I mean, again, we'll give you a sec because we'll hang out. Like it's cool. It's actually Thursday, but I thought it was Friday.
Yeah.
I had mine now, so.
Oh, nice. Okay, good.
Yeah.
But again, to remind you. Oh no, what we got? Thank you very much for the information, Phoenix. Okay,
Oh,
you're very,
good.
very welcome.
Good.
Well,
Glad. Again, we know some of y'all are waking up, so it's all good. We want to remind you again. You get us for 2 hours, May 18th, for the Move Abroad and 3 Easy Steps. This is like the 3rd or 4th time we've hosted this workshop. This will be the 3rd one of 2025, actually. We kicked off 2025 with a bang and then took a little break.
Yes.
This will now be the 3rd Move Abroad and 3 Easy Steps virtual workshop. Daniel just linked that in the comments for you, the live chat. It is also linked in the video description. Some things we can say about it. You do not have to be leaving anytime soon. There is no pressure. One piece of encouragement we would like to give you, you get to decide whether it's moving abroad or anything else. I learned this from my parents. You can give yourself directives. I know if we ask you and direct you to like the video, you're gonna do it, we appreciate it. But some people are like, no, let me like this right now. And then some people are like, no, let me save this article for a rainy day. Let me do that. Some people are like that. So we appreciate it. So what do we got? Is this Miss Dion? Good morning from Detroit. Oh no, Dr. O, excuse me. Working my plan to move abroad in August. Need information about establishing U.S. address because I have a business. Establishing Oh, establishing a U.S. address. Is that for your bank, most likely, or a virtual address? We'll give you some time to answer back. We're working on those things as well. I know it's been more challenging when it comes to having U.S. address. In our experience, maybe you have seen this and others. Yes, bank virtual address. They want a residential address.
Yes.
So if you have family back in the States, that's one that you trust. That's one way to register your business bank. There are also mentors have told us you can get with things like WeWork, Upwork. They have some subscription features for you where they have residential addresses or addresses that business banks like Relay and Bluevine and Chase and things like that, they'll recognize or provide addresses for you for like a monthly or annual fee. So those are some options that we've looked into, or there's family that we've used. So as long as it's a trusted address. So that's what they want you to do. A few years ago, I guess maybe you didn't have to do that. This is the era that we're in right now. So those are some of the options.
This is really cool because Josiah and Daniel have been working on it for their business, and they have been living it. What's interesting is at the more lower level, we did get a virtual address
You're welcome.
that is really cool.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Because we
quick,
attended we got a virtual address, and the idea is we decided to sell our home. We were taking the rent from it, which was
Right.
very
We
nice
rented
at the time,
DMV for a while.
except when the folks built a chicken coop in the back, and Marlene got a little upset about that. Anyway,
Why?
so she said, we gonna sell it. And so we were in agreement. We do things in agreement. But anyway, we did do a little research and just picked a state that was best for us and got a virtual address so that there was a place that our mail could go
Yeah.
to. Because one of the things I've learned is even though we have loving sons and family back home, if you're counting on somebody to do something, you probably better get somebody and pay them.
Yes.
That's their job to do, because otherwise they're gonna get around to it. They're gonna get around to it. They're gonna
Yes.
get around to it, and they don't.
Or they're gonna
And
let you know what had happened.
yes, that's well put, Daniel. Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, that was the other kind of virtual address that we did get from a virtual post office box.
Yeah. P.O.
that
box.
we have.
That's essentially our personal address.
Yeah.
This was before we registered the business, which Dr. O and some of you are wondering about. She's talking about business address. But our first foray into these virtual addresses and different features is our current, basically, personal address. Right, Dion P laughing at you, Daniel. It is like that, right? What had happened was, so yeah, again, to reiterate, we talk about these things in members only as well. Residential address is what America wants you to be doing now, so that could be a trusted friend or family member that's living in America, that you have vetted, you got history with. They recognize that you are living abroad now. That's one way that you could register your business address with them. You could also look through WeWork, or actually it's WeWork, not Upwork. It's WeWork or subscription workspaces
Yes.
that provide addresses that your business bank will recognize. Because in our experience, I don't know if Dr. O was experiencing this or any others, right now it seems the trickier part was your business address. Your
Residential.
your banking address. Whereas, where the bank need, to do things like that. So those are some of the options that you have, and if you can have those things ironed out, that can make life a lot easier. Dan and I have been working on it ourselves, and things are looking promising right now. So it's good that you're in the United States getting that wrapped up. So everyone who's listening, that's a good question Dr. O had as she prepares to move out.
I have a question for you all. What is your biggest concern in terms of moving abroad?
What were some of ours? was one of language, I think was one for me. Kenya, Rwanda was kind of challenging. Swahili, karibu, welcome. Swahili's been a lot easier, so I feel a lot better about it.
Nice. Habari's mchana.
Yes.
Yes.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Yes. Or habari's njoni. I hope I'm. Ooh, please don't beat us up if we got that wrong. Joan and Jama. There we go. That's to be safe. That's good evening because it's 5 p.m. our time, so basically. Did y'all? No problem.
Yeah.
Any of y'all have any? What were some of your concerns?
My concern was roads, like
That
will
infrastructure.
Will there be that part of infrastructure?
Yeah.
For like, will there be roads? I see we got a
Oh,
comment.
I think I would agree with Dr. O with her. She said, financial sustainability, those golden handcuffs are strong. That's a term I
Yeah.
use a lot. I'm so
Yeah.
glad you used
Yeah.
that term because that's how the conveniences and stuff like that,
Yeah.
and having a job, because I was addicted to getting that fix every 2 weeks as a government employee. She says, I am moving from a wage earner to entrepreneurial mindset. I was a business
Oh, yeah,
major and I
that's
still
good,
can't
yeah.
pronounce that word.
You have to.
Anyway,
I know where you're going.
yeah, that shift for me because Dr. O, I am totally in agreement. Maybe
Yeah, I feel
that's the thing. Because I've worked, okay, so I'm on the verge of 65 years old, right? And I've worked since 14 years old. And when I say I worked, what I mean is I worked, the Urban League would help young people get jobs where I'm from. And I remember working at the Illinois Department of Transportation there. And so you become so addicted and you become familiar with it. It's easy. This one author of this book, he calls it a womb. You go from your mother's womb, you go to the public school system or private school system, womb. You go to these different wombs. And one of the wombs is a job. And I find it interesting that there's got to be this shift that occurs within you. Biblically, it would be Romans 12, 1 and 2. I beseech you, my brothers, by the mercies of Yahweh Elohim, that you renew your minds daily, okay? I kind of butchered that. But anyway, Romans 12, 1 and 2. You got to renew your mind, meaning having a new mindset.
Yeah.
And the new mindset is that returning to remembering, wait a minute. I'm created in his image, and therefore I have creative capacity. I have gifts that no one else, like I have a fingerprint no one else has. And I can, number one, learn to see what problem the world needs solving. Ask myself, is it a common problem or is it just my problem? Because the more widespread it is, the more I can serve. Solomon said, don't give me gold and silver. He really just said, teach me how to serve these people.
Right.
All right. And so you look for a product that's going to have widespread impact. You also look for a product or service that people can be willing to pay for. They have to be willing, and then they have to be able. Those three things. Able to pay, willing to pay, and it solves a problem. It could just mean they want joy and laughter. Look how many people buy music to enjoy it or watch comedy stuff. So
Netflix.
Yes, absolutely.
Nothing wrong with entertaining.
But the shift to get there is one where it's easier to go from, if you're on a ladder and you're painting the wall behind us and there's this door over here, it's easier to get down off the ladder, go over and climb up the next ladder, and you start from the bottom and work up slowly. So you could maybe have a side hustle going on and gently begin to learn how to communicate what you have in the language of those who supposedly in the niche require what you have. And those things can help you shift. But the biggest thing I'm finding is the Bible. The Bible,
Amen.
the Bible.
Amen.
Like, for example, I'll be done in a minute because I think a comment came in. For example, Daniel quoted this earlier. I think it's Proverbs 11:24. Somewhere in there, it talks about Blessed is he that sells his grain, and cursed is the one who withholds grain. For some reason, my mind had always put in there, blessed is the one who gives away grain. It does not say that. It says your blessing is in selling it. And then it hit me, bless Grandma B, my mom.
Amen.
And I know most parents and grandparents said this, and that is that I will know you're serious about it when you have to sacrifice for it yourself. So I had to buy my own 10-speed bike, cutting grass and stuff like that. And I valued it more. I didn't realize sometimes, because I might have been very giving with, like sometimes you said, Dad, don't be educating everything on everybody.
Sure, yeah.
What I have to understand is
Judgment.
they may, right, judgment. It's like you give them an opportunity to grow and mature by sacrificing. They're willing to trade their dollars for your product or service, and trying it slowly over time, just like a drug addict, I guess, getting weaned off drugs or something like that. You do it and you realize, wow, this is blessing people. It says here, I'm blessed for selling this to people, and they will be blessed because, as my mom taught me, I know now that you're serious because you got some skin in the game yourself. And I'm not going to tear up that 10-speed bike I bought. That thing lasted me too.
Yes. Phoenix, as far as accessibility, I am concerned of accessibility and moving abroad, even though my mobility is slightly limited. It's a concern for me. If you feel comfortable, could you elaborate a little bit more on that mobile limitation? You know, maybe crutches, wheelchair, things of that nature. If you feel comfortable. Having said that, we of course welcome you May 18th to the workshop because Dad and Mom we were all talking about organization. We want to organize research to look at what are maybe you've never done it and would like to do it with someone in the right space. We welcome you because those are the types of things to look into as far as healthcare abroad, how you're going to take care of yourself in whatever your unique situations are, so that you can find the perfect conditions, perfect in air quotes, no place is perfect.
Yeah.
How about the best conditions for your situation?
And like he's saying, it all depends on where you're going, but doing the research and being part of the workshop and knowing how you can find where you're going to be going, what's available to where you're going to be going. Because like you say, if you're in the States and everything, and you're used to having all the things that you have there, it may not be where you're going to go. So that's where the research comes in, and knowing, okay, this is my situation. I need to know where I'm going to go. Will they be able to help me? But it all depends on where you're thinking of going.
Yeah, you'll want places with Daniel was talking about infrastructure earlier. So the places, depending on your situation, with the best infrastructure for your situation, with mobility, with getting around, with top shelf medical things for checkups and follow-ups that you need to have, those will be top of mind for you. If I were you, they're definitely already top of mind for me, and that can narrow things like in a good way. You know, you can't have everything. If you narrow it to this place got to have this, that, and a third, or the next best thing, already you're further ahead than you were a few minutes ago, maybe.
So in terms of searching, I queued off of some of the things Josiah said. And the best cities in the world for those adults who are seeking accessibility are Barcelona, Spain, Berlin, Germany, London in the UK, Amsterdam in the Netherlands, and Singapore. And best cities in Africa, on the continent of Africa, for adults seeking accessible and inclusive experiences are Cape Town, South Africa, and Nairobi, Kenya. One of the things...
tracks.
Yeah, it does.
So it's not fair the way I did that. I just quickly did that. But I know I'm from the Midwest, and sometimes I talk around Robin's Barn. My friends tease me about that growing up, even though they're from the Midwest. I'm gonna do it again. So I tried to give you a decent or a shotgun answer real fast so that you had something. one of the things is search techniques. One of the things that I found, so I got certified as an executive coach, right, in the federal government. And one of the things I learned is we tend to ask the wrong question. I'm not saying that you did. You did not, okay? What I'm talking about is search techniques. That's what I'm talking about. So I was blessed at one time in my life to be helping in a career development center at the Mary Switzer building, which is the building everybody was wrapped around to find out they were going to be fired or not. Anyway, Voice of America, Radio Marti was about to be moved to Miami, Florida. And we were helping these people. They had two choices. Either move to Miami from Washington, D.C., or quit. Those were their two choices. And one gentleman wanted to work in banking in Asia. And 3 or 4 of us who were my team members were trying to help this individual do some searches and find things. And it took us about 3 days or something like that because we really weren't getting hits for the individual. Okay. So he's looking at moving from Washington, D.C. to the east, like Asia, okay, looking for employment in banking. And that's his skill set, expertise. And what I found was how you frame your search really is critical to the quality of the answers that you get. Because we might have been saying things like, I don't know what. I won't even try to remember that far back. But it turned out we should have been using the term, because we finally did after about 3 or 4 days, Pacific Rim. Is this individual's question about that? No, it's not. What I'm talking about, the overarching thing I'm trying to do here is your research technique. It involves attempts, reattempts. Okay, what I get from there? Okay, fine tuning it. And what I'm saying is that helps you get better results in your research technique. And I'm trying to give you a real life example that I experienced where we really were helping someone move and get a job. And we might say the East Asia or China or something like, or Japan. And it should have been, apparently in finance terms and banking, Pacific Rim is the term that they throw around a lot. So what I'm saying is we try to help people fish for themselves, and we don't give you a fish unless absolutely necessary, but we try to teach you how to fish so that you can eat for the rest of your duration and make yourself sustainable in that.
Yeah, because these are good habits to have. They've served us as far as like how to search, and something new is always coming up. It might be something medical, it might be a restaurant, it might be a piece of technology we need for another trip. You're always learning how to like pinpoint, search engine optimization type
SEO,
things.
he's talking about SEO.
Exactly. To try to pinpoint what it is that you need and how to find it, So those are some things to think about there. Even down to, someone was asking about business more in a specific area, but even like, I know remote work is very tough. Last I checked, and from some loved ones ourselves who have lived abroad before, they're talking about how remote work's a little tough. They're trying to get y'all back in the office in the United States. Nothing against being in the office, but it's a great option to have. That's what we've been talking about, right? It's a great option to have to be able to work remotely. Those are things as far as your job search or entrepreneurship research that you'll do when moving abroad to figure out, are you looking for a job? Have you established a business? We recommend doing that for sure. Start a business, especially a remote business, an online business.
And start it now. Okay?
While you're in the
Immediately.
States.
The best time to have started the business was 5, 10, 20 years ago. The second best time is now, right now.
Yeah, you want to do that so that they can't lay you off. We're not here to curse jobs or anything like that. We've all had jobs in our family and stuff like that. But times are changing. Okay, thank you from E Phoenix. I just have a slight mobility with walking. I don't need crutches or cane. Glad to hear that. Okay, good, because I wasn't sure and things like that. So yeah, look into those spots. Dad said, for sure, Barcelona, Spain, South Africa. Yes, there are black folk in Spain. Some people will be like, no, there aren't. Yes, there are. For your consideration.
Costa Rica. No.
You know, Costa Rica, things like that. So if they weren't already, and then I'll go back to the business thing, if they weren't already for your quality of life with, you know, just your walking and things like that, put the countries Dad listed and then some at the top of your list.
Oh, that reminds me, walkability.
There you go.
Cities are rated on walkability. Now that he shared more information.
Thank you for that
In
information.
fact-
Oh,
VPN.
Here we go. One, I can hear you and see you,
there
but
we
your
go.
voice is repeating and echoing back like a robot.
Okay. Yeah, some of you thinks she'll leave and come back. Some of you might just have to leave and come back. We had a power surge just then, but we're back up. So Dad was talking about walkability and comparing it to DC and other cities, for example. Go ahead, Dad.
Yeah, so this is really helpful when the brother
Okay.
gave us more information with regard to mobility. And my personal story from way back about helping the person with radio MRT who wanted to be in banking in like China and you know Taiwan, that kind of area. We learned the way you search is very important. In that case, we should have used the term Pacific Rim. Now that I know more about what he's saying, the term is walkable cities in the world. And also, let's see, walkable cities.
I think
True. I was like, yeah, is Rhonda? I guess it is, especially for the citizens. They ain't got no problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so in the world, the most walkable cities, and of course there are different continental groupings from Europe to notable cities. Where we been? Kyoto, Japan, which was
nice.
very nice. Taipei, Taiwan, Vancouver, Canada, Montreal, Milan, Italy, Copenhagen, Denmark, Turin, Italy, Turin, and Dublin, Ireland, Amsterdam, and Africa on the continent. Okay, Swahili. Okay, Quilimane, Mozambique, Addis Ababa in Ethiopia, I think it is.
Hopefully we're pronouncing these names right.
Kisumu, Nairobi, and Dar es Salaam, which is just across the ocean from. We go there all the time.
Skipping away.
I guess that is pretty cool. Yeah, that's
It
what we
is
do.
walkable,
We'll walk to
yeah,
the
we're always
hospital.
walking
Yeah.
That's
everywhere.
what we do. Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't even think about it.
Peace and blessings to you, Miss Tanya.
Hey,
Miss Tanya Brooks.
how you doing? So, what you do is you just keep tweaking your searches.
Right.
Charming and walkable cities in sub-Saharan Africa. Stone Town, Zanzibar. Yes, it is.
That's right.
That's
That's a street from
where
us.
we are.
30 minutes.
That is very well.
Mombasa, Lamu, Kenya, Cape Town, Durban, Djinn, Mali, Dakar, Senegal, Harar, Ethiopia, Nhambane, Mozambique, Freetown, South Africa, Sierra Leone.
So you just got to do different searches.
Right. So we were trying to at least give you something to work with right here on the spot. That was our goal, to try to do that. May not be exactly what you were looking for, but we were trying to hit it. So, so we hope that we are, we do apologize for the power outage. That might be playing into,
Phoenix.
yes, there are a lot of walkable cities.
Yes.
Yes, and Phoenix said he'll look into that, so that's good.
Okay,
Good.
good,
Prioritize
good.
exactly what you need. Please do that.
Right. What I've found in life is that folks they don't prioritize what they need and what they want. And so
We gotta do that.
they end up thinking about, they're impressed with one city or country on Tuesday, and then on Thursday, they hear about a different city or country, and now they're impressed with that. And then on Sunday, they hear about a third one, and now they've shifted over there. And what's happening is they haven't drawn a line in the sand or put a stake down and said, hold up. Before I start looking, here is what I believe I need and what I want. Then begin to compare what you hear to that. Otherwise, you'll be blown about by every wind of teaching, like that.
Yeah, I was,
Somebody said.
Just real quick, Mom. Hello, members only, Miss Sherry Washington.
Hello.
Good morning.
Hey, Sherry. Hello.
And good morning, Miss Tracy Barrett.
Hey, Tracy.
Hey.
How y'all doing?
how y'all doing?
So, yeah. Anyway, go ahead, Mom.
No, I was gonna say, what he was saying was like, you know, knowing where you wanna go, what you like. It's like, I'll say South Africa. South Africa is like Washington DC, weather-wise. You have all the four
all
seasons.
four.
But if you don't know that in your research, you won't know that. So when you're doing research, you wanna know where you're going. Do you want the beach area? Or is it a landlocked area? Can I be, you know, you gotta know where you're going to go, what you're looking for, what is it that you want. Because if you get somewhere, you're like, man, this is not really what I thought it was gonna be. But that's where the research as to preferences for you specifically. Because we like water, and we wanted the beach and everything. So even though we were in Rwanda when we first came, but we knew eventually this would have been, you know, where we want to be, where there's beach, you know, so.
Or like the, oh, sorry.
No, go on.
Then the warmth y'all really liked. Dad, that was good for your joints.
Yes.
So going to Los Angeles was good because it like primed you up.
Yeah.
And then Africa, there are cold places. If you didn't know, there are cold places in Africa. We're not pros just because we live here. But yes, you can get all four seasons.
Yeah.
South Africa.
Yeah.
There's in northern Tanzania, Kilimanjaro. If you've seen photos, we've been near it. It can be snow-capped. So yes, you can get snow.
Or Arusha's got cold weather. You gotta be wearing pants and
Coat, parka.
Yeah.
But Dad really needs nice tropical climate. So that helped inform Rwanda and then eventually Zanzibar, and he's happy.
Yeah.
So we want you to do that for walkability, for out before the power surge, we were talking about business. Find countries that are very good for establishing brick and mortar business or even online business. What you talking about, Miss Sherry? Do you see it, Dad?
Yes, I can.
Oh, she said.
Oh, snap!
Stacy is her daughter. Huh.
Is that right? Wow.
Check that out.
Oh, wow.
Yo!
That's something.
That's,
Small world.
Family
y'all
affair.
got family in the
Oh,
chat.
that's
Yeah, I
nice.
mean, and Tracy, if y'all and Miss Sherry, if y'all got something y'all need to say to each other, you go right ahead. You know, do your thing. My mind has drifted to, is it Sly and the Family, or who is it? It's a Family Affair.
Yeah, is that Sly?
That's Sly and the
Yeah,
Family
it's a
stuff.
family affair.
Oh,
But yeah,
nice.
but just go to, it's wonderful to have y'all here. It really
Wow.
is. Miss Tracy and her family were in our first Move Abroad workshop back in
Yes.
2024.
Yeah.
Actually. And now they're scouting. I won't put your business out there if you don't want me to,
Doing
Miss
things,
Tracy.
yeah,
But
they're
they're out
checking things
scouting the world. They've been outside of the United States for several months, scouting out prospects, and we're so happy to be getting emails from y'all, getting the updates,
Oh.
and seeing y'all in here. It's always nice to hear from you guys. It really is. That's a great example. Do your scouting trip.
Yeah.
If you
can.
really, no, you know what, you really do, because times have changed. Okay, so full disclosure,
Oh, yeah.
we didn't do a scouting trip.
Yeah.
Our situation was different, okay? In film and maybe other sectors, they call it a hard out. So
Oh,
it's
I
like,
never heard of
we
that.
gotta be out of here like now. Other times, we can take our time. I mean, we're trying to go home, but we can take our time, we can stay, but then when it's a hard out because the venue is gonna be, or we gotta be out of here in 5 minutes. So that was kind of how we
Yeah,
approached
it's about
things.
less than 6 months, yeah.
We're being Joshua and Caleb scouting out the
Ah,
land.
Yes, yes.
I know that's right.
Yes.
I know that's right. So please take that encouragement from Miss Tracy and her family in the comments right now, whether you're live or watching the replay.
Yeah.
We strongly encourage you now. 3 years ago, maybe you didn't have to scout out. You did a hard out of the United States like we did. Now you want to scout. Try to go at least one place.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
For a good amount of time.
Yeah, at least you can go,
3 weeks.
yeah,
at
3
least.
weeks more than.
A month?
Yeah, a month if you
Probably
can,
a
yeah.
month. It depends on when you're going, because
Yeah.
like if that flight is longer than 18
Oh,
hours, you're
yeah.
gonna need time to rest.
You
And,
might need 2 months, so yeah,
Yeah, because time zone is a thing.
yes.
yeah.
We are 7 hours ahead of the East Coast of
Right.
the United States right now. It's 5:47
Yeah.
p.m. for us. It's about to be dinner time for us. And when you're traveling around and scouting, you do want to take time zone into account because you're going to need time to acclimate. You might even need, I'm serious, a whole week depending on where you go. Isn't it similar in Japan, Dan and Daniel? Like,
Yeah, well, we were crossing the international date line
Oh,
over
that's
there.
right.
there you
Yeah,
go.
so,
Yeah, it's the next day for them.
yeah.
So you want to take that into account for real. That's your health essentially, because you could get sick, you could get intense fatigue and things like that. Your sleep can be jacked up, and we don't want that. So consider that for sure when you're doing your planning and everything. We'd suggest, scout out, try to go somewhere for a month or something if you can, whether you're solo or traveling with your family like we did, so that you can get the best. Because we did say earlier, and family, feel free to please chime in. We've seen people over the years, they live somewhere for a while and then for one reason or another, they got to go back home. And we don't want that for anybody, unless it's family. But if it's financial or culture shock or something like that.
Yeah, it's different if it's like a planned visit. Like
Yeah.
you said, like you want to see your family or you got to handle some business.
Yeah.
But we don't want you to have to do that because of an emergency.
You
Yeah.
gotta uproot and go back, which is not what you wanna do. Yeah.
No. Take Miss Tracy's advice. Take your time to learn the lay of the land
Yes.
and culture. Yeah, sorry, go ahead, Dan.
I'm finished.
Oh, yeah. Miss Tracy was saying, take your time to learn the lay of the land. I think another term for it is slow travel. It's a little bit different than a scouting trip. Scouting trip is prior. Slow travel, in fairness, I'm sorry, it's kind of after the fact, but you're still taking your time to be immersed in that area. You're not ready to get up and go to the next place just yet. You're taking time to really make a home for whatever time there, and then you move on. But learn the culture, like watch videos, be open to the fact that, for example, we did members only in these workshops because depending on where you go, everybody can't be doing freedom of speech. When you're an American, you're used to just mouthing off Yelp review culture, Amazon review culture. You can't do that everywhere. So we found a way to do that, to have one-on-one or group spaces with you guys and members only in the workshop May 18th, link in the description, to really get into those cultural shocks and things so that you'll be equipped. So do as much research as you can, but know that you can't do all of it, but you can kind of level set yourself and build a foundation, so.
Yeah, thank you, Tracy, for bringing up that topic of culture, because it is what I was saying earlier before she got in on the call. Culture eats strategy for breakfast. I don't explain what stuff means, and I apologize for that. Culture is all kinds of things. It is the way that the people look at time. Like, for instance, around here in Swahili, they are looking at it the third hour of the day, the fourth hour of the day, the fifth hour, like almost from a biblical point of view. And I'm like, oh my goodness, okay.
It's like 10 or 11 o'clock in Swahili time right now.
Yeah.
Can
When
mess with
actually in a 24-hour clock, it's just almost 1,800 hours or 6 o'clock.
Yeah.
All right, so culture could be the way they look at time. It could be the language. It could be the music. It could be the way the conservative. What does that mean? Is that Republican, Democrat? No. It could be conservative in the sense that Marlene would not have her shoulders out like that, like she does right now. She may not go outside like that or down to Stone Town. Culture is when we were in Los Angeles and I'm taking the escalator on the metro and I noticed that everyone is just coming down the stairs, so not the escalator, the stairs at Union Station. And I'm trying to go up the stairs with a handful of people, but a giant ton of people are coming down and I gotta fight my way through it. And I gotta do this every day. Okay, that's culture. And there's so many other things that make up culture. If you could consider it like a pizza and all these slices, music, language, food, but it's that invisible thing.
In some cultures, they don't like to give you bad news.
Right.
So you'll think that they're ghosting you or something. For them, they're not. They're just keeping the peace, or they are informing you in their eyes, but they want to protect your feelings or your ego or something because maybe they're a proud people. Maybe they're whatever. We've experienced that as well. Some places, they fast for 30 days. Zanzibar just finished Ramadan at the time of this video a few days ago. And that affects how you're going to shop, how you're going to eat, where you're going to go and things for 30 whole days. We're not used to that in the United States. Everything's open all the time, 24/7, things of that nature. But that can really throw off your routine. Some of the things Dad's talking about, even as little as a wall of people coming at you on the escalator or something, that throws off your whole physical and kind of emotional, psychological rhythm. So you want to be open to culture, and we talk about things like that in members only, in the workshop, and in the course, because that can make or break. Again, visas, passport, very important. But after you have all that stuff, the culture, the new culture, because again, you're moving abroad, so you're going someplace different.
Yes.
That stuff can make or break.
And you really want to take the time to step out of yourself as much as possible. I know that sounds weird. To understand the culture around you or where you're trying to go so that you can digest it and make adjustments accordingly. Because, for example, the strategy you might have is, well, my wife gets on my case. It's like, for me, if I write something down on my phone in the date calendar, that's when it's going to be. I am not going to keep nudging you to see if you are going to be there because you said you were, and I assume you wrote it down in your calendar like I did too. I know I should be careful with that word, but that might be my strategy, but it won't work in certain areas because I've noticed I've been places where they don't write things down. They don't, we were in Uganda and we had stayed at this resort with cottages over 3 or 4 days, something like that. And so we're eating breakfast, lunches, dinner. And when it was time to go, we have a chartered bus with the group we're with, and we're ready to pull out of there and go back to Rwanda. And we're asking them, how much do we owe you? And they say, well, let's see, what did you have? And they're literally holding their chin and going, okay, I had hot cocoa, I remember, that first night.
You had pizza.
And we're literally doing that, going backwards in time. And a friend of ours, she about had a baby.
She had to leave the building.
She had to leave the building because she could not believe
The anxiety was
they
crazy.
did not have an itemized list of all of the different things we had
There
eaten.
was more
or
than 10
drunk.
of us.
Yeah, there was more than 10 of us.
For 3
And
days.
so we had to go in sets or groups and try to remember with them what we had ordered. And so what I'm saying is, there's this comment, I was talking with a couple just a few hours ago at our food court here. And she said what our friend Joy said. She said, it's the little things.
That's it.
Yeah.
It's always the little things. And those things, I think, are what wear people down or make them feel comfortable because, oh, I like this, you know? I like the fact that when we're in Dar es Salaam and we're at that one hotel, they know our names,
Oh,
Mark,
yeah.
or they know who we are.
No.
The chef comes
Oh,
up to us
yeah.
and talks
All
to us a
the
little
time,
bit.
yeah.
Or how you been? What did you enjoy yourself? Was this, you know? And so they work with us. So what we're saying is that the comment Tracy made is huge. It is huge.
How do you renew your passport while abroad, and if your U.S. driver's license is needing to be renewed because you need driver's license to get passport?
Wow. And so who asked that question?
Jewel Niles.
Oh, hey, Jewel. Thank you. You've been with us for so long. Thank you for commenting. Wow. So I have been, I guess, the only one of us four to renew my passport.
Yeah.
So
This year, I think.
there's going to be, you want to renew your passport before it gets down to 6 months.
Yes.
And the reason why is because if you have to leave, like I had to leave the island I'm on to go to the mainland, and to get back in, they may say to me, oh, you only have 6 months on your passport. But that didn't happen. I didn't use my passport to travel. I have a residence card, so I'm a resident.
Right.
So that worked. But you have to think of little things like this. Okay, so the embassy has an online system. Sadly, you can not use it when you're overseas. I thought I could. I did use the system to fill out my paperwork and print it out. So I filled out my renewal, and Evelyn printed it out for me. And then I used their system to make an appointment to go to the U.S. Embassy. In this particular case, I found out by talking to other expats that I did not receive a confirmation for my appointment because I don't know why. They don't do appointments.
Okay.
So I really didn't know I had anything. Marlene and I hopped on a flight, went on over to the U.S. Embassy in Dar es Salaam, and when we got there, they didn't have a record, but I had my document. Oh, and these are Tanzanians I'm talking to. I haven't gotten in the embassy yet. So I have my paperwork, I have my passport, I have my resident card, and more than likely, because of the situations around the world, you're going to have to you don't want to carry purses and a lot of stuff because you're going to have to put it in a safe. They don't want you walking around a government facility. Well, you're not going to even do that at DOJ where I worked or somewhere else. You just can't do that anymore. You need to put yourself in a locker. So don't be taking purses and all this kind of stuff. You're going to have to put your cell phone in there. You can't be walking around with your cell phone. And that's critical because I'm taking pictures and documenting things of my paperwork. Anyway, they said, well, go on back there because Tanzanian is kind of nice culture anyway. So the guard just had an escort for us, walked us back. So now on U.S. soil in Dar es Salaam, Tanzania, you walk back to the ticket office, and the guy, I told him I had an appointment. I said they did not confirm, and he said, okay, no worries, and says, oh, you got everything together. I already had taken a passport photo here in Tanzania. In fact, I think I took it myself this time, since there's no CVS to go to. And I had all that with me. I had the whole complete package. And I had paid for it in advance online. That's right, paid for it in advance. But I still have to go back and pick it up. So it took, I think, 6 weeks or something like that. And I chose to get the passport traditional booklet and also the passport card, credit card thing. And they're two different numbers. I didn't realize that. But anyway, so what I'm saying is there is what I would, having been a federal employee, I would guess there is consistent international security things. You don't take pictures outside the U.S. Embassy. You must turn in a locker your cell phone and anything you brought with you. You only can take back with you the papers and things you need. I'm sure this is true whether you're in Istanbul, whether you're in Tokyo, or wherever. I would guarantee you that's probably the case. And you should have filled out the stuff online and printed it out, and you would have paid for it online, selecting what you want, the passport booklet and so forth. And you want to do this. I did this before I had 6 months left on my passport, because most countries you're coming into, they require you to have a minimum of 6 months on it. And you say, well, you're already living there. Well, it depends. For me, I had to leave the island to go outside. So I was covered by that. And, but you have to, I'm trying to think of how that could be a situation somewhere else. But anyway, that was the situation here. And let's see, I think I pretty much covered it all, unless you got another question.
Because you went into more detail on members only, I think.
Oh,
as
I did?
well. I believe
Oh,
so.
okay.
Dad covered it there as well. So I don't, because I wasn't with them, but we encourage you to do that as well. We cover a lot of those things in more detail, because that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
But there's more stuff there as well. Wallet 2 and locker, got passport in 2020 to 2021, so time running down.
Yeah, so when you say wallet, let me think. I'll speak and then Marlene. I have a cell phone case that is my wallet. I don't like having two different things. And because I'm giving them my cell phone, Marlene was telling me take my credit cards and things out, and I didn't. I disobeyed my wife in that sense. But everything was okay, and the security guard took care of it. Marlene, did you take a purse in or wallet?
Yes.
Okay, so there's your answer. She was able to
Okay.
take that in. So there you go.
And I'm trying to remember, because we've done this more than once. I think I did both times, and I'm hoping that will be continued. But sometimes situations are different depending on who the people are when you get there. I just want to say that, because sometimes you may do something and it's, oh, that's how I did it, that's how I did it. And somebody go, well, no, when I went, I couldn't do so-and-so. So we're just letting you know that's what our experience was.
That's actually true in a lot of cases, unless you have a culture you're entering in, like maybe in Japan, they're very by the rules, I know, on things. But it seems to be, I've noticed a general tendency, it depends is the answer for everything. And in this case, it depends on who you're standing in front of at the time. And so, and that way what Marlene described will happen. And the passport, let's see, I guess it was renewed for 10 years. Yes, mine was renewed for 10 years.
That's correct, yeah. Because mine was renewed, I think, in 2020. So yeah, another decade. Tay says your information is correct because I went through the same treatment at the U.S. Embassy in the Philippines while
okay.
renewing passport back in 2016.
Oh, okay.
So there you go. The community is chiming in with experience.
Thank you, Tay.
You just never know, but yeah, okay.
So, and that'll help us when it's our turn to
Yeah.
renew. You know,
When's
yours is sooner.
Sooner.
Yeah.
Okay. So yes, you want to be jumping on those things and knowing where your U.S. Embassy is and stuff. So yeah, for us, it's ferry ride, or they went by plane, I think, to Dar es Salaam.
Yeah,
So 10 years from adults. Oh yeah, and 5 years for children. Thank you for that, Tay.
Thank you. So on this business of going into embassies and stuff, everybody make sure, let me be honest with you. I don't know what I'm talking about. That's my disclaimer. Now I'm going to go ahead and have the audacity to say it anyway. I am noticing in the world, things are changing like almost daily.
Yeah.
And so, for example, I've been to Mexico, you know, we've been
Yeah,
to
we've been to
Mexico. Okay, big deal. No big deal, right? Things have changed now where, I mean, I was picking Marlene up at the airport in San Diego one time, and actually I was listening to the music. I had this hamburgers I love from there in San, and I almost drove into Mexico. You ain't gonna accidentally do that no more.
Nope.
Because they are stopping people, and you gotta have documentation that you didn't have to have before. And that's only in the last month, I think. And people didn't know it and were standing in line. So they started to turn around and just leaving. And that's there at the border. So what I'm saying is that things are changing every day. There was something I saw on the news this couple days ago, and that is that there's now the orange, well, there always was red, yellow, and green. And the countries that are listed in those red, yellow, green, it means what you think it means. Red means no entry, yellow, we scrutinizing you, and green, come on in. And what's happening is they are shifting more countries to the yellow and red.
Yeah.
And sadly, they're in the, what do they call it? The southern, the more melanated people.
Yeah.
Yes.
The global
Yeah,
south.
the global south, that's
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
So what I'm saying is, when,
We should get, yeah, we can talk about that.
it's like when things used to be, I could just like, it got so bad at when I was working at the Department of Justice, even as an employee, I had to go through not the magnetometer, whatever it is, but literally the booth that goes poof to check you for
Gotcha.
drug
Oh,
and stuff.
really?
Oh yes, when I used to go to the to get money out of the credit union, and I'm going in the building there. Oh yes, and so what I'm saying is, as you progress over time, things are not as simple as they used to be.
Yeah.
And they're the kind of thing that you need to keep your pulse on, like this great question of renewing the passport when you're overseas. It becomes more complicated, is what I'm saying. And that lends itself to other things being more complicated.
Yeah, Ms. Tracy said, agreed, we had different responses with different people going to the passport and immigration office for visas.
Okay.
And then Michonne, hey, what's up? She was in our last workshop in January. It's nice to see you here.
Hey,
Shalom, I have to update the kids' passports. They have grown quickly. Gotcha.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
Yeah, because that 5 years go by quick,
Yeah,
doesn't
and
it?
they change.
But you're right that things are moving fast because you just brought up some things. I know Mexico just did some changes because if you'd flown in there or something between 2020 and 2023 or something, I don't know if I'm getting it all right, you were somehow more eligible perhaps for residency.
yes,
If
yes.
you're interested in that, research that more. I'm not saying it right.
Yeah.
But we know people were going down there to get their residencies under certain strictures, like in the last month and a half or something.
Yes.
And to your point, Dad, on another country though, they were in line and didn't know that they were no longer eligible to get residency. So they were good under the old guard.
Right.
And then the new guard came in very quickly. That happened in the last month and a half for people pursuing residency in Mexico. There's also, and we see y'all's comments, thank you for chiming in, we'll get you. There's also things you were sharing with us, Dad. Certainly when flying into the United States, maybe other countries, they've got some weird rules about accessing your cell phone for national security and things of that
Oh,
nature.
yes. So we've gone back to the States twice, and they did ask me, well, one occasion, how long are you going to stay, or some question. And I was surprised that the U.S. Customs official, immigration, whatever, asked me that question. And I don't know, I said some non-answer. He said, okay. But on what Josiah just said, apparently things are such tenuous that people who are U.S. citizens returning to the United States,
Right.
if you have things on your cell phone or on your laptop that might not be considered, somewhat threatening, maybe there have been things that have been said, or I don't know,
Screenshot,
you have screenshots, YouTube
documents,
channel, or something on your
diary,
phone
I don't know.
that they can deny you entry.
Make things
So
challenging for
what we have to, I guess what we're saying is you have to be, keep your head on a swivel.
It might be kind of like when companies or people will research old people's tweets and be like, oh, so this is what you were saying.
Nice example.
We got your receipts here. That's what they doing at the customs and stuff. That's what.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
They ask you that at Walmart, when you pay a bill, Wow.
What's
Okay,
it?
thank you,
Did you
Mashawn.
read it? We don't know what you said.
They ask you that at Walmart when you pay a bill. Questions
Oh, okay.
about
That
what's
don't
on
make sense,
that
yeah.
don't make sense or on your person or things like that. And Jewel Niles asked Dad, so I don't need a driver's license to identify to get passport renewal, as per I guess your experience.
I'm sorry, I was reading the screen. What?
No problem. Jewel Niles asked, so I don't need a driver's license to identify to get renew passport?
Oh, I apologize, Jewel. I forgot about that part of your question. I did not need my driver's license at all
Right.
because actually my driver's license from California, well, it's not, it's sort of expired, but not. What I mean is I have, oh good, it cleared up now. Okay. Virtually it is working, but I can't get California to mail my physical driver's license. So I don't really have, for a long time now, a physical driver's license. And to get to the point, I did not need it
Yeah.
for the passport.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I don't remember anything about
No,
that.
Yeah, I don't remember
On the
ever
passport
having to do
application.
that.
I don't remember that from my
Yeah.
renewal either.
Yeah, but I would say,
Uh,
not trying to set in fear or anything, but double down on the
Yeah.
research about it,
Yeah.
because things change. That's
Yeah.
been the premise of
Good
the
point.
live, the video. I hope that it hasn't changed, but
Right.
yeah.
And I'm hoping that they wouldn't do that unless they're just really being strict, because there's a lot of people that, not everybody drives, you know, so I
Right.
don't know, but, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, or just a normal ID card.
Yeah.
Something like that. Go
So
ahead.
I would also say, when you're traveling, to be cautious. I don't let that blue passport booklet be seen by a lot of people. I try to put it away. And don't put it, I did this, we just got back from Dar es Salaam a week ago. And I had put it in my shirt pocket, and my body heat was causing it to curl. And you have to be careful of that stuff, because I did not realize this, but any country could say, well, we think yours is too damaged, your passport is what I'm talking about, and they may not like that, and therefore you cannot enter.
Yeah.
So you really do need to,
I keep mine in the cup.
we bought passport booklets when you all were
Yeah.
Yeah.
traveling to different countries as youngsters, and I just thought it was cute, you know, because it hangs around your neck, and
Yeah.
I don't want y'all losing
Yeah.
stuff. No. You need that. You need to keep your passport in what is the word you premium
mint
condition.
condition.
Mint condition.
You
Yes,
need
the
to keep
best you
that thing
can.
in mint condition. You also probably, because of the state of things, it's really wild when you're not living inside the United States and you watch Al Jazeera News or BBC, and they refer to things differently than ABC, NBC, CBS, and CNN. And what I'm saying is, you may not, Americans, we come across as arrogant sometimes in some places, in some countries, or just a nuisance in others. But now with the state of the world the way it is, we're not as beloved as we think we are. We have believed our own hype.
Yeah.
We have a very good publicist, and we sadly read our own hype and believe it. It's not the case. And so you want to probably keep your passport out of public view, in good shape, and up to date.
Yeah, keep it away from magnets too. That can mess
Oh,
with.
yes.
I had some challenges with like my wallet thing. The magnet would mess with the stuff that's in the mechanisms inside your passport. Paper thin, but there's stuff in your passport. So yeah, keep it. It's a travel document. It's an important identification document. So treat it as such. You would treat your driver's license well, your credit cards, your birth certificate, social security card. Treat your passport the exact same way, because you need that to leave the country and access other ones. And if you're here watching us, you're interested in doing that. So keep your stuff good. Also renew, since we're on that, renew your passport. Some of y'all got children, so you're talking about you're about to renew your children's stuff. That's good. Get on that. I can neither confirm nor deny. Some of you might have been hearing a lot of fuss around the ease of renewing your passport or applying for your first passport. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. If you're interested in moving abroad, begin that process off the top of my head, because we've written about it to you guys in email, so I'm trying to remember. I think some of the easiest ones are maybe USPS applications, post office applications, and you can do it online as well. If you just Google apply for a US passport or renew US passport. Again, there might be fuss around it and delays, there might not be, okay? But we'd encourage you guys to jump on that and begin renewing your passport, or get a fresh one for you and your children. Get that underway. Yeah.
Before there's strange changes.
Things change every day.
So there was a question that some of you were answering, and we thank you for it. Like Dr. O and a few others answered it. And my question was, what is your biggest concern about moving abroad? So some of you might have missed that question. Or also to warm you up, you can also type in the comments, what city or state are you watching from? And the only reason why I do that is because it's just to warm you up, and also I'm kind of a all shucks kind of person, meaning I'm from the slow plains of Illinois, and I'm like, who you know? And family used to tease me because we would go places. I mean, I've literally been in other countries and ran into people that knew people that I knew, like in Jamaica or someplace like that. I was like, wow, this is just, and it just happens. It's a very 6 degrees of separation. It is a small world. So anyway, when you type what city you're from, I'm like, oh man, they from Boston. Oh man, I remember going up there,
Right,
such
where we meet people from all over. Miss Tanya Brooks, healthcare, Jackson, Missouri. And
Mississippi.
I was about to say Mississippi.
Yeah.
Oh, that's M.O. My bad.
Missouri is MO, yes.
My bad. Jackson,
That's the
Mississippi.
show me state.
Go ahead, Dad.
Yeah, we drove through Mississippi on our way from DC, driving across the United States. That was exciting, driving across the United States to Los Angeles, California. I'll be honest with you, I was very nervous in Alabama and Mississippi. Pumping gas, I got the gas pump and kept it moving. But
Remember that.
is healthcare a federal? Are you talking about like HHS or something like that? Or are you talking about like one of the healthcare providers or something? I just wonder, I'm just asking, are you a former or current federal employee? Because I'm a former federal employee.
Yeah, please let us know. Also, thank y'all. I think this is the longest live we've done. We just chilling
It's like 2 hours.
right now.
2.5.
So thank y'all. Jewel, now's the 90-day leave and come back thing. Heard Zambia doesn't do that. Off the top of my head, I don't know if Zambia does that. Tanzania does it. Yes, every 90 days you have to leave. Casual, it's called border hopping. You go to another country, get stamped, come back, get stamped by the place that you're residing in. I think South Africa does it as well. These are common tourism visa things.
For South Africa, I think you have to go back to your country of origin. So it depends on the country.
Yeah.
Keep
Which
that in
is the
mind.
United States for us.
For us, and for a lot of you, if you are trying to have some kind of extended residency in a place like South Africa, you will have to return to the United States and then come back to South Africa. We know people who have done that. Thank you, Ms. Dion P. Mashawn, do you all have a reference for a Airbnb for a scout trip in Tanzania? Send us an email, Ms. Mashawn. Thank you. Be in our inbox. We may actually have something. We recall you were interested in Tanzania. Please send us an email. Tanya Thomas, I'm new to your channel. Oh, welcome, Miss Tanya.
Welcome.
If I'm being too personal, were you homeowners before your move? If so, did you sell or rent? I have been struggling with this. From Baltimore, Maryland.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that's
And
like,
we're from PG.
yeah, we down the road.
Up a Marlboro.
I
Yeah,
went to
Marlboro,
Towson
Bowie. Yeah, go on.
He
Go
was
on.
just talking about
I went to Towson University, Miss Tanya Thomas.
Make sure they answer your question. No.
But yeah,
Wow,
Miss
you from Baltimore? Talk to us.
yeah,
Anyway.
but yeah,
Yes.
Miss Sean, please email us, and then Miss Tanya.
Yes, we did have a house. We rented it for a while because
Thank
we
you,
had
Marlene.
moved from DC to California for a few years. And while we were in California, we were renting it. And then when we decided to make the change out this way, I decided I didn't want to be dealing with the house and being totally in another continent, another place. And so we sold it. Yeah. So.
But make sure you do
Yeah.
what's, there's something coming in. Make sure you do what's right for you. So you weren't here earlier in the call. I brought this up, this being that Marlene wanted us to sell the house. Personally, I was liking receiving that residual income. And we have expat friends here, and they got multiple houses that they're still receiving residual income from, okay? But it hit a point where I guess in your psyche, she got sick and tired of it. The reason why, and I have no problem with telling you this, is because we number one, have a fabulous what's it called? Manager. What's Chris?
Property manager.
Property manager.
She was excellent.
Oh my gosh, she is excellent. She goes to the State House in Annapolis and lobbies and speaks.
She's up on all the regs. And
Yes.
everything.
Oh, she was fabulous. And so, so you want an excellent property manager. We had an excellent one. And even in her excellence, she would have to face our tenants and say, look, you cannot have a chicken coop in the backyard. Because our neighbor called me and said,
Sure
Mark,
did.
here's a picture. A chicken done left. I'm in Los Angeles. I'm showing Marlene this picture, and this chicken done gone in Linda's backyard, our neighbor.
Flying over the fence and all of that and
And then
stuff.
she looked out and actually saw a chicken coop, which you can't legally do that in that area because it's not
Right.
a farm area.
Right.
And I think so. Marlene was like, I'm through, because that was like the straw that broke the camel's back. But everything is specific to each
Yes.
individual, and you
Yeah.
may want to do that.
Yeah.
I also would like to say, shame on me, but I personally like being personal questions and being transparent, because as I'm getting older, I don't give a care. That's not the word I wanted to say. And I just like being open, and I really don't care. Now, Josiah has moved us to doing a members only YouTube channel where we can, where it's more appropriate. So, but when you asked, is it okay if I ask this question? I'm like, yeah, ask the question. How you gonna know? It's like, so anyway.
Thank y'all. We're getting a lot of chatter here, so let me see. I think we answered all of that from Miss Tanya, and then Miss Tanya Brooks, medical. I was a Medicare contractor until the beginning of the week when we had a Zoom meeting.
Oh,
Ooh.
Oh my God.
our heart goes out to you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, Miss Tanya.
Sad to hear
Wow. Okay.
Man, okay.
Opportunity's gonna await you.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
yes,
Yeah.
indeed.
Goodness. Have you guys been, Jewel Nas, have you guys been to Botswana or Mauritius? Not yet.
that.
Not yet. We're working on those, though. We're working on it.
Keyword is yes.
I want to say, wait a minute before you read the
Yeah,
list.
yeah.
When we say we're working on it, trust me, I'm very goal orientated. I like to check things off the box. I like to get her done. Me and Josiah completed a novel. You got that thing done. You understand? You can get it off Amazon. Anyway, my point, I'm not selling it now. I'm just telling you, I'm an accomplishment kind of a person.
Yeah.
Well, when we say we're working on, what we mean is we might be dealing with, like I'm renewing residence for me and Marlene.
Yeah.
Josiah and Daniel just renewed their residence.
Yeah.
Or we're checking out cholesterol, and we came from the doctor today, looking good. We're doing the moringa seeds. Y'all need to look that up.
Yeah, the moringa
And we got a tree in our front yard called Neem, Neem,
Yep.
which apparently is called the tree of life. And we're learning. So there's so many things going on. And then we realize, oh, we should probably, it's time to do a workshop. We
Yeah.
on vacation? You see what I'm saying? So it's like, we're going to get around to it. Okay,
Oh,
go ahead.
yes.
Yes. Yes. Again, workshop Move Abroad in 3 Easy Steps, May 18th. It is linked in the description. We can't wait to see you, okay?
Let me read off some of the things real fast. So you're gonna get the workshop, because you're gonna get the workshop workbook. You're gonna get, you will automatically have, you're gonna get the readiness assessment wheel, where you kind of get a snapshot of how ready you are with family and stuff like that to move.
So you don't have to go back to the United States. I don't want you to have to.
We give you a system to rate the countries so you can identify your top 3 or 5 before you do a scouting trip. We give you tips on how to do a scouting trip. We teach you a system on how to design the world that you want with your needs and wants. We talk to you about travel types so you can understand. Yes, listen to Tracy. She says she took the workshop, okay? And you can see her testimony on our website.
So did Michonne.
And let's see. Oh, right. And you get travel types. What's travel type? What we're finding, some people are like
loving the great adventure outdoors with no navigation
Roughing
help, no paved roads. They love that raw, the realness.
Very adventurous. Whereas others are like Daniel, need paved roads, need infrastructure,
Rodeo Drive.
they need some things to be tried and true. So it's your personality type as it comes to moving abroad. That's very important. The visa won't matter if you go to the wrong country.
Yes.
It doesn't matter.
Take the time to find out what's the right ones for you.
Right.
Yes.
We give you a cost analysis, and we take you through that. Like, what's the cost to go from Milwaukee, Wisconsin to Dubai. Yes.
The budget's key.
We show you how to get out of debt, and then there's 2 systems. One is to get out of debt. Second system is how to, now that you're out of debt, how to like divvy up your money so that it starts making money for you.
Yes.
You get these ebooks. Josiah's put out a lot of stuff, and Daniel, it's medical, it's an expat guide, which Daniel mentioned earlier, which, I thought he was hiding, which is, in other words, we talked to a whole bunch of expats and just put together all of their comments in this thing that we give you. So you're not just getting from us,
Right.
You're getting it from like 15 to 20 other people, okay? They answered questions. You get a research guide, you get a travel kit, and you get, I already said it, the Move Abroad workbook. So that's the list real fast. Go ahead.
So all of that, Daniel, you get all of that. Daniel linked it in the description for you right now. Also, we'll say this again. If for any reason, this is not discouragement, if for any reason you don't feel you're ready for that, we hope we'll see you in members only. Lowest tier is $8 a month, where we do even more intimate logistical and mindset videos about moving abroad, and you get even closer access to us, which we hope and pray brings you closer to your move abroad. Okay, so you have options, and we want to it's a way to keep the momentum going for you to move abroad. Okay, Miss Tanya Thomas, hold on, Miss Tanya Brooks. I was thinking about renting my home out. She is in the Medicare.
Oh, okay.
And then after her, Miss Tanya Thomas, I understand I don't want to be a landlord. Okay. Problem. Totally fine. So get property management.
Get somebody you trust.
Miss Michonne, I have to keep my residuals going. Yes, completely understand. Yes.
Yes.
Miss Tanya Thomas, that was a blessing. She said also they have some kind of goat farm at the end of my block.
Oh, wow.
What?
Yeah, that urban farm is taking over. It's just make sure you're doing it legally.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
the thing.
Because we have a lot of them are in, have always been in grandma's environment. I didn't really notice until I became older and we visited the last couple times. There are more urban farms, even though she's in the agricultural sector.
Yeah.
There are more urban farms in grandma's area.
Wow.
So let me see. Dion P, love this conversation and advice. Tanya, thanks for your response. Tracy, yes, take the workshop. It's Jewel Niles. you guys got a international driver's license before you went overseas, or got it there in Africa?
Working on it.
We're working on that as well, actually. That was something we
I
found.
recommend you do that.
Yeah, say it again, Daniel.
We recommend that you do that. It will really help you.
Yeah, go to like we did not, and because we did not get that taken care of, we now have lessons learned that we share with you. We got, we goofed up, we messed up, okay? Do like Daniel said, don't do that. Go to AAA or, so many things. I had looked this up. Man, I need to write stuff down. And I don't even think you have to be a member of AAA to get it done. But, and there's AARP, that's it. Go to AARP also. And also research your target country, because it depends, do you really need an international driver's license, okay? But if you got it already, then you wouldn't be in my situation. Go ahead.
We are caught up on those right there. So thank you. Again, you have more questions, please share. Thank you to everyone. I think we have 27 people. Gotcha. 27 people watching currently, 30 likes on the video. That really helps. So that makes sure that YouTube puts out what you need. So I guess with that, we're gonna stop. That's it, y'all.
Yeah.
So again, thank y'all for spending these couple hours with us. May 18th, Move Abroad in 3 Easy Steps workshop, linked in the description with the full breakdown of the schedule, what you get from it, everything. We are in Overlea, Baltimore City. Oh, okay, Miss Tanya. Nice.
Okay.
Wow, okay.
And then, yes, International Driver's Permit AAA, Tracy, Miss Tracy. Okay, great.
We have a expat friend who actually bought some property here and was living here in Zanzibar, who's a former police officer. This is a brother who's a former police officer in Baltimore, as a matter of fact. He's back there now and has been back in the States for a little bit, and then he'll come back here. You meet all kinds of people. And anyway, I just wanted to say thank you to all of you all for allowing us to serve you on this platform right here, right now, is what I'm talking about. I thank you. Jewel is asking how much was the cost to Tracy for that. She got the international driver's license. Yeah. Thank you. One of our goals is to be of good service to you. And I'm making this up as I go along. I want to say thank you. I mean that from the heart. Karibu sana, asante sana. She said it was only $8 if you're a member of AAA. Okay. And so the deal is, that was for the international driver's license. And so the deal is, if you think of a way we can serve you better, maybe you could just send us an email to awakenwithmark@gmail.com. For example, we did this, which is called live right now, and as it got later in your day, East Coast and Central Time Zone and Mountain and all that kind of stuff, it's like more people came on. It's getting later for us though. It's dark outside now, just so I don't put the ring light on and all this stuff. But maybe if they want, maybe we'll do one on a Sunday evening here, which will be not in your, what time, 7 hours difference. Yeah. So if we're doing it at like 8 p.m. here, it'll be 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, maybe 1 o'clock p.m. your time on like a Sunday evening. Maybe we'll do a live at that point in time. That might be one of your answers to how we can serve you better. Also, I'm not scared to say this. Make sure you go check out other YouTubers and see what they're talking about, like Journey With Us, like Stephanie Perry, especially she's doing the thing with the women and house sitting and stuff like that. That's right. Realize we've been blessed to talk to people who've like gone to Mauritius, gone to El Salvador, gone to Costa Rica, and it's just fun. I'm retired, Marlene's retired. We're trying to build something for our family. We're trying to be a blessing. I'm gonna be honest and transparent with you. For our children's children. That's right. What we are looking to do. And so, thank you again. talking too much. Thank you again for allowing us to serve you. And may you be blessed.
Be blessed.
Bless.
Again,
Thank you.
Blessings.
Again,
Thank you.
Move Abroad workshop, members only videos, and newsletter, all linked in the description.
Yes.
We hope to see y'all May 18th. And before then, we'll see you on the next video. Peace and blessings.